Hello, and thank you for joining us. In this episode of our BPCS use case series, we're going to be talking about document generation in Salesforce for iManage. Let's dive right in. What are you using to generate documents now? Do you have Salesforce? Do you have iManage? If you answered yes to these questions, then let's review a very user-friendly and streamlined approach to creating documents. Here we are in Salesforce, and of course, our objective is to generate a document. So let's go to Document Generation. Up pops a list of published templates. Now, in this example, we're doing this from an account record. You can see here it says account. Obviously, document generation can be done from any configured Salesforce object, custom or otherwise. Now, we're going to generate a letter of intent. So I've got that selected. I'm just going to hit Next. The next thing you see pop up is a list of data that's coming from Salesforce that will be dropped into the published template. You see in the upper right-hand corner, that's the template that's stored that will be used to generate the document. So as you can see, I've got today's date, account name, a bunch of fields. You'll also notice that contacts. So by virtue of the fields in the template, it says, hey, I need you to pick a contact. No problem. I'm going to pick Valerie. All right. And I will hit Create Document. And of course, the document is created. So now, if I go to Generated Documents, up pops here my letter of intent, the one we just built. As you can see, it has merged all the appropriate data based on what was in Salesforce. And this is a Word document. So from here, I can print, send it out for digital signature, or whatever needed. Okay, let's generate one more document. Let me go back to that main folder structure. And there we are. And let's hit document generation again. This time I'm going to choose NDA. Not a real NDA, but I want to show you an example of some additional publishing capabilities. So hit next. Here's that data that's coming from, of course, Salesforce based on the template you see in the upper right-hand corner. Because remember, it's going to read the template, figure out what fields you need, and that's what's going to display here on the screen. Now, what you can also do is you can add additional information to these fields. Now, this additional information will go to the template, but of course not back to Salesforce. And you may have other fields that are on the template that aren't even in Salesforce, because again, you want to add more information to the document. So I added the word info here. Now, down the left-hand side, you'll notice these are checkboxes as opposed to radio buttons. You're like, what does that even mean, Adam? Well, in the last example, you chose one contact. In this example, you're like, I want to add, in this case, 3. So in other words, choose multiple items to include in your letter. Now, in this example, I'm using contacts. It could be damages, it could be quotes, it could be whatever setup you have in your Salesforce solution and, of course, your template. But the idea is I want to show you can have multiple items selected to go into your template. So I'll just hit Create Document. And my document is generated. Let's go off to Generated Documents. And you'll notice my NDA that was built. And here's my NDA. And you'll see the data that was merged, a little info thing we put in there together, as well as the multiple blocks. And of course, in this example, I've got blocks of data. It could also be columns, depends on your need. And again, this can go off for digital signature, or you may have signature images that you want dropped in there during the publish process. Really up to you, and it's how you build your template. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to go off and generate documents right from inside Salesforce. So what have you learned? Well, you learned you can generate documents from inside Salesforce, and you can manage your templates inside iManage. So what are your next steps? Well, it's time to reach out to MicroStrategies so we can help you like we help our other clients.